A bullish candle closes at the top and it opens at the bottom, right? So our close of the previous candle is acting as our what? Is our entry, and our upper wick is acting as our target point or TP. Starting the weekly time frame, so we're gonna focus on these two. So that's where we're gonna put our rectangular item here. We need to ignore these three candles right here. We start in the weekly time frame. We look at the previous candle, in this case this one. Remember, we're ignoring these candles, right? Highlight the close of the previous candle, and we also highlight the what? The upper wick. A bullish candle closes at the top, it opens at the bottom, right? Close of the previous candle is acting as our what? Entry, and our upper wick is acting as our target point or TP. So we highlight with our horizontal lines like so. As this, the close of the previous candle is the entry, and the upper wick is the TP or target point. So then after doing that, we can come in other time frames, descending one by one, or we can just go straight to H4. But let's just come to the weekly daily time frame, and we can also find daily time frame in the structure. Same applies as the H4 time frame. So in the daily time frame, you can clearly see that there was this high, and the market did this and it broke structure, and it created another higher high here, and it broke structure. Let's say this didn't happen, but because of this, we know this is an uptrend, right? Yeah, this is an uptrend. Even if we hop in the H4, you can clearly tell that it's an uptrend again, because the market moved higher high, higher low, and it broke structure to the upside here, and now it was like sort of retracing. So because the market reached its high here and it started to go down, I had to put a straight line here like so. So the market started dropping as of from here, and it started to create lower lows. So I put a trend line like so, because price hit here the first touch of the trend line, and price hit here the second touch of the trend line. That's what makes a trend line valid. So now I need to wait for a breakout. Price usually breaks out on the third touch, so I'm waiting for a breakout here on my third touch. So because it's not so clear, but it seems like a double bottom with the way price moved like so. So your entry could have been here, although this is our entry, and your stop on the previous candle. It's like a W pattern like so, right? And there are multiple candles. There's this first candle, and there's this first candle, and there's this second candle, and there's this first candle, and there's this second candle. There are multiple candles forming a W or a double bottom here. So your entry could have been here or above here on the entry. Let's scale down again to H1. So yeah, as you can see, we're seeing the same picture that we saw in the H4, which means we have the same confluence. Price hit here and price hit here, and it's like a W, the first leg of the W, and now there's the second leg forming. So you could have entered in the H1 from here, but this is a perfect entry. This H1 candle was finished. Your entry could have been here, and your stop loss just previously here, or you could have entered anything more entries.
That circle represents the weekly time frame
here, as this was the entry in the weekly time frame. That was the close of the previous bullish candle, and this is your TP. Then our stop loss previous candle, and our TP just here. This big huge candle, you can start placing your positions after, and depend with how much you have in your account to make the bet. Let's work on the entry above here. Let's see how we can spot that entry. Let's hope in M30. There was no entry. I don't see anything. In the H1 candle, it was like was a W or a double bottom. So after this huge candle, you would have entered here and you'd have been in profit after 1 5 6 hours and you'd have made a bag. Like, subscribe to the channel.